Okay, Susan. Okay, so we're going to talk about risk and responsibility on the risk management. You mentioned that you want to do the trainer, ensure that the people fully understood how the responsibility for the risk would be shared. Yes, you want to work on that.
Yes,
okay.
please.
Okay, may I ask? Okay, when you should really mention that to your student? I mean, when you're teaching your people, when you should start mentioning this one to your people? Normally,
I mention it really once we've gone through the cockpit drill. I've told them about moving off and stopping,
okay.
and then I talk about it before we move the car off at all.
Good.
So right at the beginning,
Yeah.
we know our roles in our
Okay.
driving.
So why you tell them at the beginning after the drive? Why you think it's important to tell them at the very beginning?
I feel it's important to tell them at the beginning because right at the beginning, when they don't know what they're doing, they know the responsibility isn't all theirs. That I'm here to help them, and at that point, help them a lot, and that our journey together will be almost 100% responsibility from me to start off with.
Yeah.
How I can make sure that they're all right.
Good.
By using the sort of clutch and the brake or the handbrake, and use the gears. I can use the steering wheel if we need it. So they really can know with confidence that they can move off, and I'm not going to let them get into trouble. So they feel that they're going to be successful when they start.
Well
so
done
they give
on
it
that
more
one.
confidence.
Okay. Now let's you do a little bit first. Let's see how you're doing first. Okay. Say I'm your learner. Okay. And then so the subject is like, say, turning left or right. Okay. Yeah. And then so you want to talk about risk and responsibility shared. Yeah. So we're just going to go ahead and do turning left or right on junctions. Yeah. So you want to have a look, have a go for it now. So just let's see how you make me understood. Yeah, make me understand how the risk and responsibility be shared.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
There you go. Whenever you're ready.
we've talked about the principles that we need to do, the process for when we're turning left and right. Remember our mirror, signal, manoeuvre, position, speed,
Yeah. Okay.
and look. Okay. So
Go on, it's all right.
look. So we know what we're doing with the car. Now, on this first time here, I'm going to be helping you with this, and what I'll be doing with the help to share our risk and responsibilities is that I'll be telling you what you need to do. So I'll be giving you a full instruction all the way around.
Okay.
Also, what I can do to help here, because it's going to be our first time turning the steering wheel, I will tell you what we need to do, but I can also help by moving the steering wheel if we need to.
Okay.
Also with the speed, if we haven't got the right speed, I can help us slow down. But the main responsibility, and I've just made a right copy of this really, but realistically, I want you to try and take your share of the responsibility by actually following the instructions that I give you.
Okay.
Looking where I ask you to look, but I will also be doing that as well. So we'll be sharing the slowing down by my instruction, but if it's not quite right, I can slow us down as well. The same as I can help with the steering if we don't get successfully around the corner. And if we fail to see something, even if we look in the right direction, I can prompt you with what we need to do as well.
Oh, that's
and
great.
that's
Yeah.
nothing like I normally say.
Okay. Thanks very much. Okay. How did things go? How was it? You think?
That was very waffly. It's not how I normally do it. And it's strange when you sat in the car.
Yeah. Come in, buddy.
How I normally talk about roles and responsibilities is almost realistically about the controls of the car, and probably not specifically in the subject that we're talking about.
Okay.
So I think what I normally do is sort of almost from the beginning is that I have controls of the car.
Yeah.
I have a brake and I have a clutch, which I can help control the speed of the car if we need to. So stop us running into anything. I can control the clutch, so I can change the gear if we're not in the correct gear. I can put the handbrake on if we need to, if we're rolling back. I haven't got control of the car, and that if our steering isn't the safest, I can help adjust if by giving you an instruction doesn't do it. So I tend to do it more as a generic subject, is that I can support them at any time with speed control, stop us rolling back, incorrect gears, and steering. If we need it. Okay,
you did quite well actually, not bad at all, but you miss a little bit of things in it, to make it 100% balance. If you read that again, so if did the trainer ensure that the people fully understood how they're responsible for the risk? Risk.
Yeah.
Right, So you talk about sharing stuff with me, which is good. Yeah. But how about the risk? What are the risks that I need to be aware of it? You see what I mean? Okay, yeah. So because as a learner now, you learn it could be a little bit confusing. You're gonna say, okay, then why she want to hold my steering? Why she has to use the brake? Why she have to change the gear or handbrake for me? You see what I mean? Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So to make it more understood exactly what's going on here, so we're going to talk about a little bit about the risk.
Yes.
Okay. So how would you actually talk about the risk now with me? Okay.
When
At
we're
a junction, yeah.
we've got certain risks on the road.
Okay.
We're at risk to start off with because we're learning to drive, so we're not fully competent on the road. On there, we've got risks of other road users on the road. What risks are the road users, do you think,
Oh, okay.
are to us on the road?
Pedestrians, maybe.
Yeah.
Cars.
Yeah. Other road users, yeah, that may sort of cause us a
Maybe
risk.
motorcycles. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got other risks by we're interacting with other vehicles on the road.
Okay.
We have a risk because we assume we know what we're going to do, or I'm assuming we know what to do at this point.
Okay.
You're probably following my directions at this time.
Okay.
But we've always got the risk that people out there are not looking properly. Maybe they've had a drink. Maybe they're on the phone and they're not doing what we
really?
expect as well.
Okay.
So we have to have a look at basically the risk that we are ourselves, as in because we're learning to drive, we're not fully competent with the car,
Okay.
and the risks of the other car to us. And whether it's safe to proceed with what we're doing at the time. So we're going to be taking left-hand turns on there. So some of our risks might be, as you said, pedestrians. We might be going to turn left in the road, and there may be somebody walking up to the edge of the road.
All right.
What's the risk then if we see a pedestrian walking up to the side of the road we're going to turn into?
Oh, maybe just suddenly walk across.
Might walk across. So that's a risk. So we've got to know that risk, that if somebody starts to walk across, that we can't turn into our road because it's not safe.
Right. Okay.
If we've got a car coming up towards us, signalling right into the road that we're going to turn left into, what might be the risk be there, do you think?
Oh, he may not stop.
He might not stop, yeah. He might pull in front of us. One thing that unfortunately we have when we've got a sign on the top of the car, an L plate on the car, it does make some drivers do some funny things because they'd rather be in front of us rather than behind us. So in normal life, where cars possibly wait, sometimes an L plate on a car does make them be a little bit rash and pull in front of us as well. So people don't always do what we expect them to do.
Crazy,
so we always want to be armed with maybe what should happen and what might happen.
Okay, that's
we're
great.
driving.
Good, Susan. Okay, so how do you feel about it now? Do you think that you'll more understood about the risk?
Probably, yeah, because partly they've answered some questions.
Yeah.
They've thought about some of the things maybe that they do in the real life, which is crossing the roads and things, so they can relate to themselves.
I like the way you did QA as well, because at first I'm about to come out of the rope and say you're not doing QA, but you actually covered beautifully after that.
Thank you.
Yeah. It just basically it's about this new test also about coaching, basically more asking than more telling. That's what the also DVSA looking for. And so at first you mentioned what are risks, and you tell few of the risks you can get, and then I say cars, which is you ask me cars, pedestrians, and motorbikes you can get, and then you actually cover up quite nicely by the end of it, which is good. But what's important is of course that when my learners say, okay, cars, what about the cars? Which is covered nicely. What that car maybe do? Which is covered nicely. So that, okay, when we tell you that was beautiful, well done on that one. Or like kind of, okay, pedestrians, what that pedestrian maybe do? And if they do that, what you going to do? So this is also, you need to a little bit add up to it. So if some cars come in front of you, or that car that you mentioned turning right, or pedestrian and so on, if that happen, what are you going to do then? Oh, I'm going to stop. I'm going to quickly react. I'm going to do this. Then it's good to go to the now. After that, so okay, very good. So then we talk about the sharing responsibility. Good, well done. So you got responsibility there. Okay, but also I'm going to share that responsibility with you by using my pedals. Time staying or handbrake with gears. I try to prompt you first. I remind you or tell you verbally. If I notice that it's out of your control and you couldn't do it, then I'm gonna involve physically to help you with that one. But overall, I did not bad, to be honest.
Thank you.
You did quite good actually, yeah. Just let me just update Sharif at the back. Sharif, sorry, we start a little bit early before you come, okay? We're talking about at the moment, the risk management is about that. Did the trainer ensure that people fully understood how the responsibility for the risk would be shared? This is one of the things that, of course, very important in risk management as well. Is that okay? Yeah. What you need to be aware of, yeah, right? Do you have any question on this one yourself, Sharif?
On the risk, no, I'm alright, because you
understood what just happened here, yeah? Okay, so can you go for a little bit? Let's say that if you so when we do the risk and responsibility, when you should start doing this risk and responsibility share, when you start doing it with your learners, which point?
When we try to do the topic before,
good.
Yeah, after I did explain what we're gonna do today.
Yeah.
So I have to pull him over the left, and then I have to explain to him everything about the risk, and after that, we'll have a go.
Okay, I think you talk about core competences at the moment. Okay, the one actually, if they do some mistakes, of course, we pull them on the side and talk about the danger, what happened, isn't that's what you meant, I think. Yeah. But this one, okay. The risk is did the trade because before you start in the lesson, before you start doing it, that's why you need to mention it. Yeah?
Yeah.
You remember that now?
Yeah.
So how would you mention that? I just want to see that how much you know it. Okay, of course I'm here to help you. Okay, so how would you mention that here? Because you see, if you read that one, it says that did the trainer ensure that the people fully understood how the responsibility for the risk would be shared? You understand this one?
Yes, I do understand.
Go on then. Okay, tell me about it. Okay, so I'm your learner. Say I'm your learner now.
Yeah.
Okay. The subject is, say today the lesson is about roundabout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna teach me roundabout today, or roundabout. Okay. So then, how would make me understand this responsibility to be shared and the risk and stuff on that? Go on then.
Okay. Today we're gonna do the roundabout.
Yeah.
But before we go to the roundabout, actually, I have to explain to you the risk
we
might found when we go to the roundabout. So,
okay.
have you got any idea what is the risk are we gonna we will going to see, or it might happen to us?
Oh, okay. Roundabout, yeah. I don't know. Maybe cars, yeah.
And what else?
Pedestrians.
Okay, correct.
But pedestrians cannot be in the roundabout, are they?
Sometimes they might be, because some roundabout they got. Maybe we'll found some roundabout with zebra crossing before the roundabout, or maybe traffic light.
Oh, okay.
So okay. Separate.
So there could be people there as well. Okay.
What else you could think? So we, you did say cars. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
And you did say pedestrian. What else then could use the roundabout as well?
I don't really know.
I'll give you some clue. What about cyclist or motorbike?
Oh yeah, they're everywhere, aren't they?
Yes, everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, and I have, because I don't want to repeat what she said and what you said. I think
that's fine. It's okay. You can.
Thing is gonna.
It's pretty much same thing. All of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, carry on. So then, okay, the risk. Okay, so carry on.
And we have to be aware of other users. We just mentioned cars, cyclists, and pedestrian.
Okay.
And could you tell me, please, is if we are approaching roundabout and because some crazy drivers, when they see the L plate, even if it's our priority, if there is cars, just come quick, because if we're going to the roundabout, we approach the roundabout and we go in second exit, let's say second exit, and the car, we were too close, and the car started to pull in front of us. What you could do?
I have to brake quickly, innit? Stop quickly to not crash into them.
Okay, well done. Okay, that's good. So, but before you stop quickly, what other things we might cause?
Accident?
Yeah, we might cause accident. So that means you have to look into your central mirror before you brake quickly.
Okay.
And Yeah, that's right. So I have to go. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Are you done? Finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, how would you sharing the responsibility happen there? So you talk about this quite well. I like that. I like the yeah, you did quite nice QA on that one. I like that. Okay, yeah, that was really good, spot on. Okay, so what maybe happen, this or that. If they don't know that, of course, then you just tell them. Okay, so this is the risk was. Okay, so we talk about risk. Now the second part of it, how the responsibility for the risk would be shared. So that also, how would you share that responsibility with them? Then how will you mention that to them?
Okay, I'll have to explain to them. First time, if I did spot any hazard, I have to mention it to you.
Come in the middle a little bit, yeah.
And
just put them away. Just stay in the middle. Just go behind me a little bit more if you want.
Sorry guys, I got cough.
That's okay, don't worry. Yeah.
And I have to explain to them and the sharing responsibility, and also I have.
So how would you explain that sharing responsibility with them?
So if we seen any, like if I did spot any hazard, it might come to us. I'll have to tell you verbally. If you couldn't respond, so I have to share the responsibility physically with you. I might break my brake, or I might use the steering wheels.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Good, yeah.
That was really good. Yeah. So the risk was good. You mentioned risk good, but you don't also talk about sharing responsibility, because you did like 50%, but now you complete it. It's 100% now. Yeah. So you're gonna really mention that each lesson really with your learners, any subject. Because some of my PDI come and said, okay, I did like last week with my learners, or last month, can I say that again? I said, no, every time you're teaching something new, every time you're doing something, every time something new maybe happened in the road, you're going to mention them every time. And it's good to have it anyway. Okay? So especially when you go to your part 3 test as well, you're not going to forget that automatically, just you're doing them. Okay, right? Okay. So any question, guys, on this one? Happy with that now?
I think so, yeah.
You did quite well. I mean, both did it quite well. I did a little bit QA.